What is going on, everybody? It is Dylan with DFS, and in today's video, I'm going over running backs to target in week 1 on DraftKings. So this is the last of them. I did the quarterback, I did the wide receivers, did the tight ends, did the defense. I'll have more videos going out over cash, tournament, all that stuff as we go. This is just kind of grouping them. I'll talk about guys that I'm kind of looking at cash versus guys, just looking at tournaments or some value. So let's get into it. CMC, to me, is one of the guys I'm targeting week 1. We're getting him at a discount. I know 73 seems steep for anybody. You're going past your average player, but Christian McCaffrey is discounted compared to where we've gotten him for years. He's been at least an 8K running back. We've seen him get up to pretty high in the 8s, 9s. So this is a discount on Christian McCaffrey. I get it. San Francisco's offensive line has definitely changed. It's not the same. They're dealing with some wide receiver injuries. Seattle, made some improvements. I don't know. It's their secondary I'm worried about. Not as much their defense against the run. I just think the dual threat that Christian McCaffrey has, not just on the ground, but in the air as well, especially when the wide receivers are kind of banged up in San Francisco, it just makes it a really good play for me at 7,300. Bucky Irving, this one, I don't know if it's going to be a cash play. Honestly, I'd rather go up for CMC, but I think Bucky against this Atlanta defense, especially the defensive line, is definitely a positive with White kind of dealing with some injuries. They still have Sean Tucker there, so it's not like if Rashard White, for whatever reason, is out week 1, that it's just the sole Bucky Irving show. Granted, yeah, Bucky Irving should get a majority or more than 50%, right, of the snaps, right? It's not saying he's going to get 80, 90, stuff like that. They have a running back committee for a reason there. It's just Bucky is by far the best one, especially on the ground, right? I think Rashard White does a really good job in the air. So Bucky Irving, to me, on the ground, good play. I don't know if I want to get there in cash, though. Devon Achane, 6,900. This one's one to watch for. If he is out, we'll definitely get a crazy good value play, but I still think it's a tougher matchup for Devon Achane. It's kind of the same thing for CMC, though. The dual threat aspect is what makes it enticing here. Granted, if we're comparing like Devon Achane and Bucky Irving, I'd much rather have Bucky Irving just for right now. But I do really like Devon Achane. Continue to go down. A lot of these guys I don't like Jonathan Taylor against Miami. Miami's secondary is terrible. Their defensive line is still really good, in my opinion. Josh Jacobs, same thing. Detroit, they're going to be healthy, so I don't think we're going to see the same, 40 points a game type of defense out of Detroit. And with, Matthew Golden getting added, I just see more of a passing game. I think that's, if Green Bay is going to beat Detroit, it's going to go through the passing game. Chase Brown it's just with someone like Mason Graham, if he could step up, you still have someone like Myles Garrett there. Granted, I think 6,600 is a very fair price. It's just, I'd rather pay up for some more security in my running back or pay down. We have a lot of good values on this slate. And, possibly one more. We'll find out. But continue going down. Alvin Kamara, this one's interesting just because you get him at 6,300. I don't think on the ground is where we're hoping to get any Kamara points. Most of this is coming out of the receiving work. So 6,300 for full PPR, like FanDuel. Yes, I would understand half PPR. You're not as enticed on Kamara. But I'm going to imagine New Orleans is going to be playing from behind for the most part. So Alvin Kamara included in the pass game is one that I like. Plus he's 6,300. But then we get in this tier, and this is why it makes it hard to play Kamara. James Conner on the other side is 6,100, so $200 cheaper, in my opinion, in a better matchup, right? Arizona favorited, obviously. New Orleans defense is bad. Arizona relied upon James Conner a lot last season, the last 2 seasons. So, I like James Conner at 6,100. I think he's a great cash play for me if we're being honest. He's a guy that I could see easily getting 18 to 20 points for your lineup. And at 6,100, that's a fair price point for a projection like that. And then Chuba Hubbard against Jacksonville. Like, we're getting two of the worst run defenses from last season. Granted, this season is a new season. You have Brown. I believe Brown is going to be back for Carolina, so that's a plus for them. But on the Carolina side, yeah, like Chuba Hubbard makes a lot of sense at 6K to target him for cash. Jacksonville, we'll talk about him here shortly, but Chuba Hubbard, James Conner, both these guys are in great spots, great matchups, in my opinion, week one, and they're $100 apart. So if you need to save $100, you can go Chuba Hubbard. If you have the $100, James Conner, right? I think they're both in a really good tier. I do like paying up for a running back on this week. I think with the wide receivers that I talked about, you get a lot of mid 5K wide receivers. I'm fine with paying down at quarterback as well, paying up at tight end, right? And then paying up for a running back, and then, kind of paying for a cheap guy here. So, yeah, James Conner, Chuba Hubbard. Ken Walker is worth mentioning as well at 5,900, and that's just because of how much San Fran lost defensively as well is their offensive line. So I kind of like Ken Walker on the other side of that at 5,900, especially a new quarterback, right? They're going to try a different system. It's not going to be the air it out Geno Smith type of offense, I guess. That's why they went with Sam Darnold. I would have to imagine that's the reason. But yeah, Ken Walker, 5,900. I think he's in a really good spot. We're going to talk about two running backs, so we'll make this easier on ourselves and just find the game and click on them both. And that would be the Denver Broncos running backs, R.J. Harvey, J.K. Dobbins, 58 and 5,500 against Tennessee, where I think both these guys should be tournament plays. It's too early in the season. I mean, I think they're in similar spots on the team right now as far as what their usage is going to be. I love them for tournaments, right? I want to get exposures to both of them in tournaments on my 150s. Like, I want to get some RJ Harvey, some J.K. Dobbins. I don't know who's going to emerge, who's going to get points. One of these guys should get a good fantasy outcome in this matchup against Tennessee, who's, yeah, you still have a staple in the defense in Simmons, but, I mean, defense is kind of shaky. And then you got to figure out that Denver's playing with one of the best defenses in the league, so kind of favors Denver's offense to run the ball more. So just wanted to go over both of them. I don't like them for cash, but tournaments, yes, I definitely want exposures in both of them. And then an interesting one, I know Washington did a lot to add to their defense as well, but I will say Tyrone Tracy at 5,600 is kind of becoming a play that I like. Scadaboo missed a lot of training camp and preseason, so kind of looks like early on, like down the line, yeah, Cam Scadaboo might overtake Tyrone Tracy. We don't know, but for a rookie to miss as much time as he missed, I'm going to rely upon Tyrone Tracy at 5,600. I mean, this was a guy last season, if we look at some of the numbers in his price points, like he definitely paid off in some of the weeks, right? There was other weeks he didn't, but I mean, this was a guy that ended up getting up to 6,000 points because he got some explosive games. I mean, that's just how the Giants offense was, right? They weren't a star-studded offense. They had a great receiver, Malik Neighbors, a really good check-down receiver in Wan'Dale Robinson, but the quarterback play was poor. They have a better play-action quarterback, which is how I imagine they're going to run a lot of their offense this season, is just running the ball, play-action, dump-off. So, yeah, Washington did. They added some people, especially on the defensive line, they added some people, but I don't think it's enough yet to where I'm just far away from Tyrone Tracy in this matchup. Jerome Ford's another interesting one with Quinshon Judkins. His situation, it's basically Jerome Ford and Dylan Sampson at running back. And Jerome Ford, I mean, he played solid. Like, he was a guy that got some solid outings last season. Like, and one of them was against Cincinnati, 24 points. So, I don't think he's a cash play, at least for right now, but he's definitely somebody I want to get exposure to in tournaments. Travion Henderson, 5,500. Yes, this guy is definitely getting some more looks for me, just by the way he played in the preseason. Vegas traded away I won't say traded. They released Wilkins. So that was a big defensive piece when he was healthy and in. he wasn't healthy and in. So, I mean, Vegas's defense is still a poor one. Still have a star in Max Crosby there. But he's one guy. New England made some upgrades. So, yes. Am I willing to take a shot on Travion Henderson week 1? Sure am. And then we get to some of the Jacksonville running backs. In this one, we will click on them as well so we can see all three at once. But Travis Etienne at 5,400, Tank Bigsby at 46, Tutton at 44. The two running backs I'm looking is Etienne and Bigsby. And if I'm picking one, it's Etienne, but Bigsby's a second close. I think if you kind of compare Tampa to Jacksonville, Etienne is going to play the Rashard White role, in my opinion, and Bigsby is going to be the Bucky Irving. That's what it looks like. Will, Etienne just fall off even more than he has? Will he excel now that he has a good offensive coordinator as well as Trevor Lawrence, right? That's always been the thing for Trevor Lawrence, but Etienne's dealt with it as well. But Tank Bigsby had a lot of good film last season, so yeah, Tank Bigsby 4,600. I'm definitely going to get some type of ownership. I don't know what it's going to be, but I want to get a share at least of Tank Bigsby in a tournament because they're playing one of the worst run defenses in the league consistently. Yet again, they lost some key pieces this offseason. Obviously, Brown's going to be there. You could say Horn, but I mean, he's a corner. They're not the best tacklers. So I definitely want to get exposure to Etienne and Bigsby week 1. I'm not willing to put money on Tutton yet. He's the third running back as of right now. So I don't want to get exposure to him yet, but maybe down the season, one of these guys get injured or one of them is underperforming. But yeah, I think Etienne 54, Tank Bigsby 46. Both those guys have to be in consideration for tournaments. Continue to go down. I'll say an interesting one for tournaments. It's not a great one, but with how poor the Jets defensive line turned out, they lost, a captain in CJ Mosley, who, I mean, he was starting to underperform, but the Pittsburgh running backs at 53 and 5,200 are definitely interesting against the Jets. So both these guys are going to be on my watch. I don't know if they're in that playable tier yet, but I mean, for the price they're at, 53 and 5,200, they're definitely raising an eyebrow. So I like that price point. And then Nick Chubb with Mixon out. Nick Chubb at 5,200. Like, I would imagine Mixon's out. But Mixon's out. That's what we're saying. Nick Chubb, 5,200 against the Rams. This one's interesting. The thing is, the Rams' defense is good. They're good. I won't say elite or anything like that, but they're good. They're younger. And Houston's offensive line, not so good, and they lost their offensive coordinator, so we don't know if they're going to do what they did last season and try to win games on the ground, which was on. But Nick Chubb is definitely worth mentioning at 5,200 just because of the price point. So yeah, going down, Dylan Sampson with Judkins probably out. He hasn't even done much of anything, but 4,900, he's a name to watch out for. Jalen Wright, this one with Devon Achane's injury, we could be getting, and man, we're going to have to go and click because I don't feel like scrolling and finding him. Ollie Gordon is 4,200. This is definitely a name to watch out for. If Devon Achane is out, Ollie Gordon would be that guy if Jalen Wright is also out, but it seems like Wright will be out, at least for week 1. Achane, it seems like they're going to get him, but it's just in case. Ollie Gordon is 4,200, so I definitely wanted to talk about him as well. Other than that, there's not a lot. There's not a lot down here, at least for right now, week 1, with the news that we know. There's not a lot. So hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. Let me know who you guys are looking at for running backs for week 1. And like I said, I will have more videos going out later this week, especially for the showdown. So if you guys are looking for the showdown videos, I did a first look, the price comparison for Philly, Dallas. Imagine we're going to get KC and the Chargers, the Bills, Ravens, Bears, Vikings. Those videos will be going out later this week as well, and I'll have more main slate content coming out for you guys. So if you're interested in that, check that out, and I'll see you guys in the next one.